Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Business Incorporated, coming to you live from Lagos, Nigeria. We're glad you could be with us. I'm Chimezie Obi Iwago. Coming up on the show, MTN says U.S. decision on Iran may limit its ability to repatriate cash from Iran sale. IMF warns of rising African debt despite faster economic growth. Plus, African Guarantee Fund is targeting capital of $500 million by 2021. Let's get the show started now with the markets. And here in Africa, the Nigerian index took the direction of most of its counterparts, the global markets, to trade lower after U.S. President Donald Trump's decision to pull the United States out of Iran nuclear deal. However, South Africa's JSE index was in the green. At intraday, the NSE index was down 0.16%. The South African JSE index was up 0.58%. Egypt was down 0.17%, and Kenya closed low on Tuesday. And in the Middle East, the markets there were mostly down at intraday after U.S. President Donald Trump's decision to pull the United States out of the Iran nuclear deal, raising the risk of conflict in the Middle East. But for Abu Dhabi, all the other markets were in the red at intraday. Dubai was 2.01% down. Qatar was down 0.52%. Saudi Arabia traded low 0.89%. But Abu Dhabi was up 0.16%. In Europe, shares were higher in morning trade as investors digested news that the U.S. is pulling out from the Iran nuclear accord. As a result, oil prices have been on the rise. Brent rose above $77, while U.S. crude hovered around $71 shortly after European markets opened. For more, here is my colleague in Frankfurt, Daniel Koop. Hello, Daniel. Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you again. Jimmy as well. Hope everything over there in Lagos is fine.
Everything is perfectly fine. Now, global markets have been reacting to Trump's announcement on the Iran nuclear accord. Is the initial jitters fading off now?
Well, I guess the investors here at the stock markets around Europe were already prepared for this scenario. As a result, we also don't see big movements happening today here at the stock market. We are down here at the moment, but slightly. Also, the picture around Europe is pretty much similar. The London FTSE at the moment a little bit up, but when you look over to the CAC 40 and the SMI, those are a little bit down. But as I said, the investors here were prepared for the situation. You mentioned a little bit earlier, the oil price has been going up after Saudi Arabia was also announcing that they are considering to produce more oil. As a result, the oil price has been going up, actually reaching the highest level so far of this year. Let me just tell you another story that is happening here right now at the blue chip index DAX before we continue our coverage of Iran. There has been the announcement today that Vodafone will be taking over Unity Media and also this group in the United Kingdom. As a result, shares of the Vodafone group have been going up, but at the same time, Deutsche Telekom, their biggest competitor, those shares have been going down, Jimmy.
Looking at those news coming in and perhaps the mergers and acquisitions there, still on Trump's decision. You know, Trump also threatened other countries with sanctions if they continue to support Tehran. Now, which companies and sectors are scratching their head right now? You did mention some companies there, but we know that VW and Total, they are all some of the companies that perhaps had the intention of getting into Iran.
Well, let me tell you, Jimmy, that Iran was seen by many people here in Germany and Europe as a great place to do business with after those sanctions were lifted when that nuclear deal was originally signed. So many companies were looking to do business there. Volkswagen, exactly, they wanted to sell lots of cars. Then Peugeot, they even had a joint deal there to manufacture a car over there in Iran. Iran, then Airbus, the company, they wanted to sell more than 100 planes to the biggest national carrier. At the same time, also Boeing in the United States. So all those companies really now are facing tough decisions. What are they going to do? Are they going to continue to do business with Iran? A little bit earlier today, I was speaking to somebody here from the International Chamber's office, and he said that they're advising, at least for the moment, companies to continue doing business with Iran. But of course, there could be a conflict of interest happening in the future, because all those companies, of course, Iran might be very interesting for them, but of course they are also doing business with the United States, and they can't risk their good business with the US. So they might have to rethink and eventually even pull out of the country. So lots of uncertainty among German companies and European companies here at the moment, Jimmy.
So it's possible that we're going to see a lot of German companies and most European companies pulling out from the existing deals.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I was talking, as I said a little bit earlier, to somebody, and he told me, you know, from this Chamber of International Commerce, that this is really a bad day for the European and Iran relationship, because they were seeing a great potential in this country. It's a country with lots of very good university students. The entire education system there has been improving. And we also have to remember that this is also a very bad day for the Iranian economy, because they were already hoping to get better without those sanctions. Now, with possible new sanctions, of course, they also have to rethink. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting what's going to happen with companies, you know, invested in the US, but at the same time also in Iran, if they will continue to do their business there, or if they really get scared by those comments made by Donald Trump. We also had a statement a little bit earlier from the from the U.S. ambassador here to Germany. He was tweeting that, in his opinion, German and European companies should be leaving Iran as soon as possible. So, yeah, many companies feel that they're kind of being used at the moment. They don't think those comments by U.S. President Donald Trump are right, that it should be their own decision if they do business with Iran or not. But as I said, there could be this conflict of interest, making some of them rethink and then also pulling out of the country.
Well, Daniel, we'll continue to follow this story, as I guess it's still developing. Thank you for your time. Hope to see you tomorrow.